You're at your desk, eating lunch, when the headline loads on your phone. Amazon cuts roughly 16,000 corporate jobs. You don't work at Amazon. Your company seems fine. Your calendar is still full. But your stomach drops anyway. That drop isn't a reaction to the news. It's an echo. Maybe you felt it for the first time in 2008. Maybe you were 27, 3 months into your first real job, watching people older, smarter, and more experienced pack their desks into cardboard boxes. And in real time, you learned something no one had prepared you for. Being good at the job wasn't the same as being safe in it. You belong to a generation raised on a quiet promise. Work hard, be loyal, be responsible. Stability will come. You were old enough to be told the rules, and young enough to be there when the rules stopped working. Most of us figured out how to keep going. What we didn't figure out is how to stop flinching. Because once your nervous system learns the ground can move, money stops being just math. Most people think money anxiety is about money. It isn't. When your stomach drops at a headline that doesn't even concern you, you're not reacting to the news. You're reacting to something older than the news. A morning you didn't choose to remember, but your body remembered anyway. Once a body learns the ground can move, the math of money changes. The number in the account stops being a number. It becomes the thing standing between you and the next time the ground moves. You could call it a stability scar. It's simpler than that. It's a lesson the body learned in one specific morning and has been quietly running ever since. The lesson goes like this: don't trust calm. Calm is what comes right before things fall apart. Maybe you check your banking app a couple of times before bed. Nothing has changed since the last check. You check anyway. Not because you expect bad news, because something in you needs to confirm, quietly, every night, that the ground is still where you left it. You don't know you're doing this. You think you're being careful. This is the part you may not have seen yet. The fear doesn't break the door down. It doesn't even knock. It moves into the house quietly, wearing the clothes of someone responsible. That's what makes it hard to spot. Because if it announced itself, you'd recognize it. You'd push back. But when it shows up dressed like maturity, dressed like discipline, dressed like a person who has their life together, you protect it, you feed it, you build your life around it. And one day you're 38, 42, maybe 45, and you can't quite remember when you chose this shape of life, or when this shape of life chose you. The old fear has 3 favorite outfits. A lot of people wear all 3 at different times. One of them is about to feel a little too familiar. The first outfit: I'm just not in the mood to look. There are accounts you haven't opened in months. The retirement statement, the credit card portal, the folder of medical bills from last year. You could open any of them in under a minute. You don't. If someone asked you why, you'd shrug. You'd say you haven't been in the mood. You'd say, you'll get to it this weekend. You always say you'll get to it this weekend. The sentence is the costume. What it's covering up is older. The last time you looked closely at your money may have been during the months you watched the account fall faster than you knew how to process. The body that lived through that learned a rule. Looking is when the bad news arrives. You're not avoiding money. You're avoiding a morning that ended 16 years ago. This is freeze. The second outfit: I'm just being responsible. Maybe you have more cash sitting in checking than your family realistically needs. It earns almost nothing. Someone in your life has asked, more than once, about the trip you keep not taking. You have answers ready. The timing isn't right. The market is uncertain. You just want to be careful. They sound like answers a careful person would give. That sentence is the costume too. Underneath it, when you think about actually moving the money, a quiet question shows up somewhere below your ribs. What if next year is different? That question doesn't belong to this year. It came from a younger version of you, watching a household learn what happens when the income stops. You're not being disciplined. You're bracing for a fire that already burned out. This is Hoard. The third outfit. Now look closely at the third one. You work hard. You deserve nice things. You just want to enjoy life. 3 sentences. All true, all incomplete. Last summer's vacation may have cost more than the budget said it should. The car you drive might be a step up from the one you actually needed. When old friends came into town, maybe you were the one who reached for the bill before anyone else did. Ask about any of it, and the answer is simple. You earned it, which is true. But somewhere inside, you also know what happens when you can't be the one who picks up the bill. A small, quick tightening in the chest. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet signal that the person at the table might not be the person you've been telling yourself you are. So you pick up the bill. The dinner isn't really the dinner. It's proof. Proof that the kind of slipping you once watched somewhere else is not happening to you. Perform is the most expensive disguise because it gets applause. This is perform. The shared root. Freeze, hoard, perform. 3 different outfits. One old fear inside all of them. Each one is a reasonable sentence wrapped around the same quiet rule the body learned a long time ago. Don't trust calm. The reason this matters in 2026 isn't that something catastrophic is about to happen. It's that the air is loud now. AI rewriting which jobs exist. Layoff cycles that don't follow the old logic. Housing prices that stopped making sense to anyone. A steady, low hum that says the rules might be moving again. For someone whose body never learned the old lesson, that hum is information. It gets read, weighed, filed. For you, the hum might be a doorbell. Something inside you answers it before you do. The Amazon headline at lunch wasn't really about Amazon. It was a doorbell. And your body answered the same way it did years ago, before your mind got a chance to weigh in. The next stretch of instability isn't going to test your financial plan. It's going to test your costumes. If you don't know the costumes are there, you'll mistake the reaction for the truth. You'll think you're responding to 2026. You'll be responding to 2008. You don't unlearn an old lesson. You learn to spot when it's the one driving. That's the work. And there's a way to do it. Call it the safety test. It rests on one simple observation. Real safety makes your life clearer and wider. Old fear pretending to be safety makes your life smaller and tighter. That's the whole test. But it's hard to feel in the moment, so it helps to break it into 3 questions, 1 for each costume. For freeze, ask, does this make my life clearer or just quieter for a minute? Not opening the app makes things quieter for 10 minutes. It makes your life blurrier every time you do it. For freeze, there's a small psychology experiment you can try. Call it the 60-second rule. Open the app, the statement, the email you've been ignoring. 60 seconds. That's all. No decisions, no fixing, no optimizing, no beating yourself up about what you see. Not as a financial move, as a nervous system experiment. You're not solving the money problem. You're teaching the body that looking is something you can survive. For Hoard, ask, does this protect my future or punish my present? Saving is fine. Bracing isn't. If the money won't move for rest, won't move for health, won't move for the trip the people in your life have asked about 3 times, the fear is driving. Real safety lets you use what you have for the life you're actually in. Old fear keeps it locked up for a life that might disappear. For perform, ask, would I still choose this if nobody saw it? If nobody posted it, nobody noticed it, nobody walked past it in the parking lot? Would you still want the dinner, the car, the trip, the upgrade? If yes, it's yours. Enjoy it. If the answer is some quieter version of, I'd actually want something else, then what you were buying wasn't the thing. It was the proof. How the test works. You won't always remember to run it. Some weeks the old fear will get there first. That's fine. The work isn't to never react. It's to notice the reaction sooner, one time at a time, until eventually the question arrives before the decision does. Is this making my life clearer and wider, or smaller and tighter? Clearer and wider is what real safety feels like. Smaller and tighter is the old fear wearing new clothes. You're not weak because your stomach drops at headlines that have nothing to do with you. You're not irrational. You're hearing an old alarm. And the next time it rings, the question isn't, how do I make it stop? The question is, does this make my life clearer and wider, or just quieter for a minute? And then you listen.